Hey guys, it's Erim. I am going to be walking you through my very best study tips that you've never heard of. So you guys might be thinking, what does this girl know about studying? And to be honest with you guys, I'm not like a huge fan of the education system. I feel like it judges you on one level of intelligence, which is academic, and that's literally based off memory. So really I'm going to be teaching you guys the best way to memorize, not necessarily revise, because that's the core skill that school is like testing you on. I want you guys to know that no matter what your grade is, no matter what the outcome is, you are perfectly fine just the way you are. There are many measures of intelligence: emotional intelligence, social intelligence, street smarts, not just book smarts. And the world values all of them, I can promise you that. So without further ado, I'm going to walk you through my experience. Now, I've always been quite a bookworm. I was quite nerdy at school. I was obsessed with reading. Like, my reading level was really high from a young age. My mum always encouraged me to read. So I think that really helps me, because sometimes when you don't know what you're saying, you can just kind of finesse the essay to sound like you know what you're saying. So I got 8 A stars and 3 A's at GCSE, A star, AA at A levels, and then I went on to do my degree at the University of Manchester in international management with American business studies, and I got a first in that. So I know a thing or two about literally memorizing things. So let me jump into the first tip. Now, I have my book right here. The first thing I want to tell you guys is, the second that you think you're the smartest of the class, the second that you think that you know everything, you absolutely are the dumbest person in the room. So I am currently doing a marketing course based off an ebook. I'm going to let you guys know how that goes. But one of the things that I find really valuable is when you're in lesson. So first of all, go to all of your seminars and stuff like that, lectures, please. That experience of you being in the room, of you smelling the book, seeing the teacher, seeing your friends, that all adds elements to the memory. When it's something as basic as you just commonly being in your bedroom, that's not a new memory. That's hard for your mind to differentiate it from other things. So doing things to make it different, you know, it's great having lectures in different rooms. Obviously, you're not in control of that, but make sure you do show up, because that makes it more of a thing than just being in your bedroom and reading the slides afterwards. Number 2, when you're there, do not put a lot of effort into yourself, making beautiful notes, bringing your highlighters. None of that, guys. Just free flow. Write without even looking at the paper. Whatever the lecturer is saying, write it really messy. Annotate the slides. If you're able to print them out beforehand, I know it's difficult. I know printing is costly at uni as well, but print them out and annotate them so you're not regurgitating information, and just write it all so ugly. Try and listen to what the professor himself is doing and speaking aside from what's on the slides, because they're the ones that are going to be marking your paper at the end of the day. If you're going to absorb information or commentary that they have on what they're teaching you and then regurgitate it back to them, they're probably going to be like, oh, I don't remember saying that, but she agrees with me. Maybe they're going to give you extra points, you never know. Once you've got those really ugly notes, go home, guys. And I know this is tough, but on the same day, get a really nice folder. I've got this one. It's kind of cute. It has gold binding, which is cute. And write it up really neatly. Not just your notes, but the stuff that's in the PowerPoint as well, into a way that's easy for you to understand. You've got your own structure. I don't write my notes how the lecturer writes his notes in the presentation. So I write it up in my own way, and then it's all written nicely. Come revision period, you are going to have a book full of, I literally just showed you empty pages, but a book full of amazing notes for you to just start revising off. You're not learning new information, you're just revising from a place where you've already written stuff down. What I would do at the beginning of revision period is go through and highlight all the keywords. Once you've done so, go through and add extra information about particular topics that you're interested in or that you think are going to be likely to show up in the exam from Google, etc. So you have like nice chunky stuff, not just the lecturer, not just what the professor said, but then you've got the additional stuff of what's going on Google to supplement all of that, and just give a really holistic understanding and demonstrate that you understand the topic at hand. Now, when it comes to revising things, there's 3 ways to learn. You can be a kinetic learner, which is someone who learns through movement. A visual learner, someone who really is like good at kind of like photographic memory, sees colors, sees diagrams. And then you can have an audio learner. Now, I am probably visual, but I think it's always good to support your own learning and interpretation through all of them. So what I would like to do, and I know this is really cringy, it's so awkward hearing your voice back. Trust me, when I have to listen to this YouTube video back, guys, I'm going to be pissed off. Guys, this is torture. Record your voice speaking through these notes. And I know That's so awkward to listen to, but record it on voice memos on your phone, and then on your way to uni, just listen to yourself. Whilst you're in the car, just listen to yourself. Even if you're not consciously paying attention, that audio memory might kick in when you need it, and you never know when you're going to need it. So you might as well, if you're walking, if you're going to be listening to music, otherwise, just listen to that type of information. Now I'm going to talk about the night before an exam. There is nothing more important than being regulated. And by regulated, I mean well slept, well fed, you've gone to the bathroom, you are feeling warm, you're not feeling anxious, you've turned up on time. All of these things contribute to physiological stresses. The best that we can do to minimize these physiological stresses on the day means that we're able to mentally perform as best as we can. So get there early, plan your route beforehand, work out where you're going to park. Parking for my exams, because they were always in different buildings, like used to give me such stress, but asking my friends where they were going to park, meeting with them beforehand was always going to be helpful to me. Not bringing your notes necessarily in with you is also very valuable. Sit away from people. That level of stress in the air before you go into an exam is just maximum. You can smell, I always say this, you can smell an exam before you can see an exam just by the people waiting to go in there. So just stand away from people. I must have looked like a little weirdo just in the corner on my own, but I just thought, you know what, I don't want to listen to you guys telling me that you didn't study. I don't want to listen to you guys telling me that you're nervous, because right now, what you're doing is for yourself. You're not studying this exam. You're not passing this degree for your friends, for anybody else. Their grade does not impact yours. So if you have to be a little weirdo and you have to stand on your own, do it. I would really, really recommend as well, guys, getting a good night's sleep. I know it seems like a good thing. Okay, but I might have sleep, but I don't have the knowledge. Don't cram. Do not cram. What you kind of go into your exam with is months of preparation. That night before isn't going to make a huge difference. And if anything, if you're losing out on sleep, the stuff that you did remember, the small parts, you're not going to be able to share them in the exam anyway. So try and get a good sleep. Do a little refresher in the morning, but just don't put pressure on yourself to learn any new information. Just go over the stuff that you already know and just free your mind. Listen to prayer on the way there. Listen to calming music if you want to meditate beforehand. Do whatever you can to regulate yourself and get your body into a state of low physiological arousal. Oh, I would like assign myself a study buddy. I had my really good friend in my final year, and honestly, credit to him, that's why we both passed. He was doing his master's at the time. I think he got a distinction. I got a first in my degree. Like, I was so accountable to him and vice versa that we were just like, listen, if you ever see the other one on road and we're not going to uni and we're not going to like library or something like that, send us back home. So we were always making sure that we had each other's backs when it came to that. Have good snacks. Your brain needs fuel. So me and him would take it in turns to go Sainsbury's, get like a meal deal. I'm not saying that's the healthiest option, but it's not the least healthy option. Get yourself like fruits and stuff like that. I know this is boring because you guys have probably all heard this, but speaking from someone who went there and did that, it is so important to make sure that your brain and your body is fueled. I think a lot of what I'm saying is just make sure that you're satisfying your human needs before you go into an exam and try and optimize your mental capacity. I actually would say to you guys, though, I was working in nightclubs all throughout my uni experience. Even when I did my year abroad, I was working in nightclubs, and I very much was in the club in my final year, the night before my exams. But I'm like a bit nerdy. I know I'm quite good at memorizing things, so I was quite confident in my ability to like leave the club before, go to my exam at 9. So do as I say, not as I do, because I think I just blagged a lot of it. Another thing about blagging, sorry, this video is like lacking such structure, but another thing about blagging, and listen, put the volume down if your parents are going to be listening to this, but make up references. I'm not going to say it's working 100% of the time, don't blame me if it isn't, but like in my exams, I was just picking random people's surnames, and I was just making up stories, and I did this in law a lot, just saying, oh, the case of Gopal versus Patel, XYZ happened. I hope that helps you guys. This stuff is like, I didn't know any of this. I went into uni and I just completely blagged my way through it, and it kind of worked. And I think it ultimately comes down to memorizing things and just minimizing physiological stress. If that's what you want to take away from this video, please do so. I hope this helped. If it didn't, don't blame me. And in the meantime, you know what's a great thing to do to manage stress? A Erim hair treatment. Yes, so I went there, guys. Make sure that you have a bottle of our by Erim hair and beard oil. This is a great unisex product to enable shiny, healthy hair, which is essential. You want to be feeling good. It has lavender, which can help to de-stress, rosemary, which stimulates hair follicles, and it's my business, so you're supporting me. So make sure to shop by Erim down below. This is a virtual hug from me to you guys. I love you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. How do I zoom out? What's happened? Okay. All dividey, actually no, it doesn't have dividey bits, but it has gold binding, which is cute. Come revision period, you are gonna have a book full of, I mean, I literally just showed you empty pages of low physiological